Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, how about that, America? You did it. President-elect Donald Trump. Did you ever think you'd hear those words? Obviously, some of you did, but I didn't. I didn't think he could pull it off. Even on Election Day, early on, when the numbers started coming in for Florida and Hillary was up, I thought it was over. But I tell you what, I don't think I've ever been happier to be wrong. If you believe in democracy, if you believe that the power really does reside with the people, how could you not be inspired by what took place in the United States on Tuesday, November 8th? This was a victory for the people, by the people, and this is the guy that led them to it. And he did it because he didn't talk down to Americans, he didn't fearmonger, he didn't try and shame them for not having the politically correct views. Instead, he gave them a voice, and he did it while battling the establishment, the Democratic political machine, hostile factions of his own party, the media elites, the Hollywood elites, and even Wall Street, which, wouldn't you know it, against all expectations, gave the result a resounding thumbs up. And now, of course, we're going to get the post-mortem, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Maybe the Democrats would have won if they ran with Bernie Sanders. Maybe, maybe not. But I can tell you what we do know for sure. We know what doesn't work. We know that running a campaign based around the fact that you're a woman and playing identity politics doesn't work.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Talking down to people whilst being exposed as unbelievably corrupt is a level of brazenness and arrogance that a lot of Americans just won't put up with. This is a victory over the toxic and divisive identity politics that has flourished under Obama and been propagated by Clinton throughout this campaign.
You know, there's a reason why we haven't had a woman president before. I want every man out there who's voting to kind of look inside yourself and ask yourself, well, if you're having problems with this stuff, how much of it is, you know, that we're just not used to it? When a guy's ambitious and out in the public arena and working hard, well, that's okay. But when a woman suddenly does it, suddenly you're all like, well, why is she doing that?
What do you make of that?
Okay, so in 2008, when a black man beat a white woman and became the president of the United States, it wasn't sexism. Why do I mention the color and the gender together? Because back then, if you were black and you went against Obama, you were Uncle Tom or a house Negro. And if you were white and you went against Barack Obama, you were a racist. Well, now he's turned the table on his own lie and made it so that if you go against Hillary Clinton, you're a sexist.
A sufficient number of Americans weren't having it. They may not have told the pollsters, but they didn't buy the spin that Donald Trump was some kind of horrible racist, misogynist, xenophobe. And the numbers bear that out. Trump did better than Romney in 2012 with black voters and Hispanics, and only slightly worse with women. And how about the mainstream media? Hang your heads in shame. We've known the media's biased for years now, but all pretense of objectivity went out the window during this election. They have disgraced themselves, and they know it, or at least some of them do. But some are still in denial, so don't expect them to roll over and play nice. They're going to double down with their politically correct bullshit, but at least now they know they can't get away with it. People are onto them. And how sweet is it to rub it in to the Hollywood elites?
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
The millennial safe spaces and the fainting couch feminists. You fucked up, you condescending, holier-than-thou, moral authoritarians. You are on notice. But of course they'll whinge and whine and they'll protest because that's what they've been encouraged to do when they don't get their own way. Just like the Brexit crybabies did. Well, suck it up, snowflakes. The pushback is here. Now, of course, none of this means Donald Trump will make a good president or that he'll make America great again. That remains to be seen, and all his work is in front of him. And we should be skeptical, given that those that have come before promising hope and change. But whether you're a Trump supporter or not, whether you were a true believer or a fence sitter like me, you should want Donald Trump to be successful. As an Australian, I appreciate that liberal democracies around the world do better when America is stronger. But enough from me. I think you should hear it from one of the true believers, or should I say, the non-believer, a real salt-of-the-earth kind of guy, a true patriot. I don't give shout-outs that often on this channel, but this guy deserves it. Check out his channel, The Non-Believer. Link in the description.
Alright, I am not making this video to rub salt in the wound, or brag, or boast. Now, I am not going to hide my enthusiasm and my excitement for what has been accomplished, but I'm also not going to rub it in because you know why? I want things to improve. I want true progress, and so do many tens of millions of Americans who voted for Trump. They want this country to come together. Americans, come together as one country. I think Trump truly wants to bring this country together. If you haven't seen his acceptance speech, I highly recommend you go watch it, because so many people that I heard, I was watching Fox News most of the night, but there was a black Hispanic man on there who was a Democrat. He was, he couldn't believe what America just did, and he was saying that Trump's going to come out there bragging and screaming, "Lock her up," and he did the exact opposite of that, as I knew he would. He is a good person, but the left has become so radical that Trump was the only answer. There was nobody else in this country that could have stopped Hillary Clinton. Look, one day I do want a woman to be president. I think that would be amazing. But Hillary Clinton was not that woman. Thankfully, she is not going to be the leader of this country in the next couple of months. So, man, are people out there fucking salty. All of the media, basically, almost every Hollywood superstar celebrity, A-list celebrity, were in support of Hillary. They hated Donald Trump. Politicians, even his own party, the Republican Party, and obviously the Democratic Party, against him. Everything out there was against this guy. But his supporters, Donald Trump's supporters, like myself, we saw it. We knew that those polls didn't represent what we saw with our own eyes. I went to a Trump rally, and it was fucking amazing. The people there was a mixture of people. Women, men, black people, Hispanics, Asian. It was great. Everybody was there for a common reason. So when the left, liberals, self-proclaimed progressives keep pushing at the majority, and then finally the majority pushed back. We can only take so much. The left is trying to change this country so rapidly, and it was working. They were demonizing anybody who opposed them. They had the media on their side. So now we pushed back, and it's great. 2016, Brexit, Trump the president. I almost lost hope for the Western world, but this brings me hope. Now, I am not against immigration. I do want people to come here. That is what built America. But I want a tight immigration. I don't want to open the floodgates and have open borders like Hillary Clinton wants. I don't want that. And it's not racist to say that. And one other reason why Trump won with white American blue-collar people like myself is he didn't call us the disadvantaged. That's a liberal term that they use very frequently for impoverished, low-income families, mostly minority, but it definitely applies to white people, as there are twice as many more poor white people as black people in this country. So they called us disadvantaged. And we got absolutely fed up with being called disadvantaged. Trump called us patriots, nationalists, Americans who love this country. That's what he called us. We make up the backbone of the country. Yeah, you have the elites, the 1%, and you have the extremely poor, but the people that are just squeaking by paycheck to paycheck, they might have a house, and the husband and the wife are working, stuff like that. That's what happened. Trump resonated with those people. So let's get to work, guys. We got an uphill battle. There's a lot that needs done. This country needs fixed. We need to come together. Mexicans, blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, all the Hispanics and Asians. We need to come together. All the different religious sects. We need to come together and make real progress and make America great again.